Hello, in this section we're gonna cover permutation and combination, but we're gonna start with permutation. A permutation is when you have the order of certain things matters. A simple example, like you have three people. So we have person A, B, and C, and they're gonna sit on these chairs right here. So we have chair 1 that is fixed, chair 2 and 3. How many different ways they could sit on these chairs? So of course you're going to say maybe A here, B and C, or A, C, B, and so on. So if you continue with this game, you're going to get 6 different ways these three people can sit on these chairs. So this what we call is a permutation. So you have 3 people, there are 6 different ways they could sit on these chairs. So a permutation is when the order matters. So ordering, for example, the last 4 digits of a telephone number, if digits are allowed to repeat, so if you have the last 4 digits of a phone number, how many different ways you can have? Or Social Security, sometimes they ask, what is the last 4 digits? How many different possibilities we have? So the first digit here, you have 10 choices, and again another 10, and another 10, and another 10. So 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, which is 10,000. But what if the repetition is not allowed? Then if repetition is not allowed, so the last 4 digits, the first one you have 10 to choose from 0 to 9, 10 digits to choose from for that first position. The second one, once it's already fixed, because you have you cannot repeat the number, so once it's fixed you have only 9 to choose from, and so on and so forth. So you have 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 different ways, which is 5040. This is the same as 10 factorial over 6 factorial. If you've never seen this exclamation mark next to number, we call it factorial. So what is factorial? N factorial, by definition, is 1 times 2 times 3 times, you go all the way to n. 3 factorial, for example, is 1 times 2 times 3, which is 6. Mathematically, these permutations, we usually write them like this, P, N, R. So what does it mean? It's n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. So for example, we have 10 numbers to choose from, but we have only 4 slots to put this number in. So as we say, we have 10 numbers to choose from, 0 to 9. There are 10 digits to choose from, and we have only 4 for the last 4 digits. Repetition is not allowed. So basically this is 10 factorial divided by 10 minus 4 factorial. Again, what is 10 minus 4 factorial? This is 6 factorial. That's why we get here. And again, what is this? This is 1 times 2 times 3 all the way to 10. And at the bottom is 1 times 2 times 3 all the way to 6. So remember, if I cancel this is multiplication. What I have left with is 7 times 8 times 9. And that's what I answered the question intuitively without talking about permutation. So basically, when the order matter is permutation, and right here, and repetition is not allowed, for example, like this. The same here, repetition is not allowed because a person cannot sit in 2 chairs at the same time. But if you want to use a calculator, and we could use in this course TI 30x. So if you're going to use this TI 30x, basically the name is this way, this calculator. So here is the screen. I'll tell you briefly how you do that. So basically, if I want to put permutation 1040, so you enter 10, you turn on the calculator, you enter 10, right? And then you're going to hit the button that says P R B, probability. Once you hit this, you're going to see either NPR, NCR, and factorial. And then you could move left or right. So we choose permutation, this is combination, and this is factorial. NPR. Once you choose NPR, you put R, which is 4 in my case. So you start with the N, choose the NPR from probability, and then you're going to choose 4. And hit enter, and it will give you 5040. If we later on, when we do combination, you're going to move the cursor to the next one and so on. So permutations do have some special cases, like you selecting 0 out of n. So to do this, this is n factorial divided by what? N minus 0 factorial. So, which is n factorial divided by n factorial. It's 1. When you choose nothing from n, there is always that empty set as when we covered in the other section. The empty set is a subset of every set. So basically there is always, it's a 1 even though you choose 0 out of n. So the answer is 1. And when you choose 1 out of n, how many? So like, let's see, you have again only one digit and from 10. So how many different ways you could choose that? Intuitively, I would say either I choose 0, 1, 2, 3, up to 9. That means I have 10 choices. So that's intuitively. But if you use the formula, this is n factorial divided by n minus 1 factorial. And again, n factorial is 1 times 2 times all the way to n. N minus 1 factorial is 1 times 2 times all the way to n minus 1. What's before n? Before n is n minus 1. And what's before n minus 1 is n minus 2, whatever that number, n minus 2. Because if I stop at 10, so here is 10, 10 minus 1 will be 9, and 10 minus 2 will be 8, and so on. So if I simplify all of this, what's left is just n. And so the other special one is when you select n out of n. So this is n factorial divided by n minus n factorial. So n minus n is 0. So as we know by definition, 0 factorial is 1. So then you get n factorial. So this is an overview of permutation. And for the next video, we're going to go over some examples dealing with permutation.